Drugs are menacing our society. They're threatening our values and undercutting our institutions. They're killing our children.
And now we gonna pop it for y'all.
Real dealing to you.
That was a nice pop right there.
We all love a good anti-hero. The tortured genius, the rock star rebel, the rapper with the double cup and the dead eyes. Hollywood, music, and social media have glamorized addiction into a lifestyle brand. The truth? Most addicts aren't creating masterpieces at 4 a.m. on cocaine. They're fighting withdrawals, battling paranoia, or isolating from the very people who love them. Research from the National Institute on Drug Abuse shows prolonged use of drugs like opiates, cocaine, methamphetamines, and even weed can lead to impaired cognitive function, depression, heart failure, liver damage, and increased suicide risk. Your body keeps the receipts, even if the people you love never see the invoices. Because there's a lie that we've all been sold, that you can have it all, the money, the fame, the lifestyle, and still somehow manage addiction and still be winning. It's all a lie. It's the illusion of the successful addict. Because addiction always cashes in. It doesn't matter how many plaques are on your wall, how much money is in your bank account, or how loud people can scream your name. Addiction always catches up to you. And if you look around, drugs are everywhere. Not as a problem, but as a culture. It's in movies, music videos, social media, double cups, popping pills just to feel alive, drinking alcohol just to numb and take the pain away. But it's all temporary. And after those 72 hours are up, and when that high eventually wears off, or your buzz eventually goes back down, reality hits. They don't show the detox. They don't show the families destroyed. They don't show the people you push away that actually love you and care about you. And the one thing that they don't show is the lost time. The most important thing that we all have, but we take it for granted most of the time. Time. And you lose time every time you take a hit. You take a shot. For the addicts I'm speaking to. Everything is good in moderation. But this is only for the people who overdo it. For the people who don't feel heard. Trust me, your pain is felt. But if you think that you can sustain this lifestyle and also become successful while doing so, you're sadly mistaken. But where does this glorification stem from? Hollywood and music labels, they sell you this false pretense of peace, serenity, being at zen. There are always subtle underlying tones in these music videos, and some of it is just outright in your face. Like most songs, they have the title of the drug in the title. Others, they're more subtle, but there's a overlying message that happens within the song. Like my favorite movie is Sugar Hill. My favorite song, hip hop, is Mind Playing Tricks on Me. And the subtones that go on through this movie and this song, I just came drawn to it. For what? I don't know. Maybe it's because of what I grew up around. I never used hard drugs or used drugs at all. I try to stay away from alcohol. But when I see it coming up and I see the decimation is done, that really scares me. But what about the people that doesn't scare? They want to get closer and closer and ride that white horse. They want to understand what's so addicting about it. Could it really be that good? So they peer into this deep, black, bottomless pit and they reach in and it's pulling at you, chipping away at your heart, mind, body, and soul, piece by piece. All for a feeling. And the movies about addiction, they end more times than not in the same way. The person who's addicted, they die or they end up in rehab. But for you in real life, when you're not playing that character, what happens for you? Relapse. You push your friends and family away. You lose time because you spend so much time chasing this high that you don't realize that your friends and family are chasing you, trying to get you to stop. Cocaine, yeah, you might feel limitless for an hour or two, but it's destroying your heart and kidneys in the process. Opiates, yeah, it kills pain, but it also kills alertness, ambitions, and dreams and aspirations in the process. Alcohol, legal, yes, by all means. But it's one of the highest killers annually than most street drugs combined. If it was re-released today, it would be illegal to sell due to all the negative side effects that come with it. So why do people keep trying it? Why do people keep doing it? Why do they keep going through this cycle, going up and down? And what I seen and saw, how drugs usage just depleted my family tree. I know that that's something that I didn't want to do. But these people who draw this connection with these characters in these movies, it becomes intimate because they try to put themselves in their situation. And they say, well, maybe if I was them, I would do this. But when you get there, you don't do what you said you were going to do subconsciously. I would never get addicted to drugs. I would never try drugs. Yet here you are. And your younger self, you're letting that little boy or little girl down because what they had planned, you destroyed their dreams because of one decision. Now, people, they go through different life events and they deal with things differently. I understand that. But think back to that little boy and little girl of what they wanted to be. And then you decided to make a negative decision that affected that little boy and little girl's dream. Like I said, guys, when I used to start off in space, I was looking into the future. And now I do it now, but I look back at my younger self. And I say, I'm going to make your dreams come true by any means necessary. And drugs and alcohol will not be a part of that process. I will try my best to not make it a part of that process. And if you know someone who's dealing with addiction, maybe try to talk to them. Maybe they won't open up. Maybe they've been through something so traumatic that they don't feel it's necessary to share, or they don't want to dump their baggage off on you. And if you don't believe me about it's impossible to sustain success and also be an addict, who am I to say that? Well, I'm Alonzo. Now, just listen to some of these names, and if they sound familiar, drop a like in the comment. Jimi Hendrix, Amy Winehouse, Michael Jackson, Prince, all of them share these same titles, icons, legends, and an unfortunate title, addicts. All gone too soon. Their talent wasn't enough to save them from this creeping, crawling addiction that peeked over their shoulders, and it took them away far too soon. Whitney Houston had one of the most beautiful voices the world has ever heard. She was open about her battles with addiction, but it wasn't enough, and addiction got a hold, and it took hold of her, and it didn't let go of its grips. Richard Pryor, the best comedic of all time, comedic genius, but most of his sets, I went back and I watched, it's a lot of pain undertones. Laugh at my pain. Kevin Hart did especially about it. Laugh at my pain. That's all comedy is. You're taking a bad situation, putting a spin on it, and people are laughing at your pain. Juice WRLD, the most recent one, at the peak of his career, and I seen the impact Juice WRLD had on the youth around me. I didn't listen to him as much, but I seen the impact. And he was gone far too soon. But he talked about how his idol got him into drugs. But yet, I'll let him tell you.
So my family putting me on to all this different music, Future, Gucci, all these niggas talking about drugs, bro.
You can't help but ignore how fun or how interesting, at least, they're making Xans and Lean and all this shit sound.
Yeah, bro. Like, when I heard Future, the first song I ever heard by Future was Ain't No Way Around It. The second song I've ever heard by Future is Dirty Sprite, like off the first Dirty Sprite mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit had me wanting to sip Lean at like 11, 12 years old, bro.
Yeah.
At the peak of his career, gone from trying to hide drugs from law enforcement. See, drugs, they sell you a false peace, right? You feel peace, but you're actually just numb to what's going on around you. And when you snap back to reality, you're scared because, oh, I didn't even know what was going on. Was I really gone for 24 hours? No, you've just been high for the past 3 days, running around in a circle, screaming with your head, like a chicken with your head cut off. Oh, but I'm so creative when I'm high. It's your brain firing on fumes, trying to keep you alive. So these ideas were always deep within inside you. It just took for your brain to try to get your other bodily functions to work, that these ideas somehow come to the surface. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just sit in cars and rooms and smoke and blurt out ideas that they've already had within them. But they think the drug is what gives them these ideas. So you attribute your success to drugs, making it grow in power and power. It's like when we were younger. It's no boogeyman or monster under your bed unless someone broke in your house and that's a home invasion. It's no one in the closet. That's your mind giving this false thing power. You're giving this drug power and giving it control over your life. So I already sound like a preacher. Alcohol doesn't give you confidence. That's an illusion. That's an illusion because if you're so confident, why do you need alcohol to go talk to somebody? Why do you need all these things for you to have fun? It's an illusion. Well, no, it's more of an enhancer. Illusion. Like this camera I'm using, all these colors. When I color grade my video, I can make my video black and white. I can do a weird color. I can do psychedelic colors. It's an illusion. This is the real me. These colors are real. Everything else is just an illusion. It's not real. Addiction isn't cool, powerful, or edgy. It's a problem. And it's okay if you admit that you have a problem. But if you're in denial about said problem, then it may just be too late for you, unfortunately. Now, before I get out of here, you can either chase addiction or you can chase your purpose. You can't do both because your purpose is going to keep you so invested in how to get there, you won't have time for drugs. Addiction is going to keep you chasing the dollar to pay for this addiction that you won't have time to even think about your purpose. It has to be a trade-off somewhere. You can choose one or the other. You can never do both. Now, people talk about the gray area a lot in life. They may say, well, what about Snoop Dogg? What about all these other people who bounced back? Yeah, they bounced back. Meaning they were already bouncing in one direction. They might have hit a wall and ended up going back and say, well, no, I don't want to get this far. And that's the minority. I'm specifically talking to the majority of people who are addicted and feel that it's a sustainable model. You know how many interviews are online of people talking about addiction? That's a whole genre to itself. So if you feel like you're the one, you're going to be the one that gets to $1 million and also have $1 million worth of weed stashed somewhere. Well, what about 2 Chainz? What about... First of all, don't try to measure your life based off someone else. The way your brain operates in someone else's, their tolerance and their resistance to certain things, you don't have that same resistance because you're not that person. So don't think that you can do these things that everybody else can do when it comes to drugs. I just feel like you shouldn't do it at all. That's just me. I had red ribbon week at school. They showed me the videos of the speed and people that had the rotten teeth falling out their mouth, that had the holes on their skin. I watched the crocodile videos when Vice was uploading from the UK. I seen all these street drugs. I seen when Flocka first came out. I seen the horse tranquilizer drugs. I seen these fake pills taking people away who I knew personally, or people or I knew people through people. And time again, it hurts because you never know what a person's going through. So if you are struggling with addiction, get help. Call the hotline. Because you're not alone. There are people out there who are willing to help, but don't push that help away for an addiction. But that's all I have for now, guys. Peace.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive